What do you want to know about happiness at work, Hero?
Well, sir, maraming questions ako actually. Pero maybe we can start off with how can we consider a workplace or the workplace a conducive environment muna?
Yeah, okay, that's how do we consider a workplace a conducive environment? So that's a very good question. Pero gusto ko munang muna natin, what is happiness ba?
Okay.
So there are a lot of people, a lot of authors would define happiness, and the definition probably would vary. But one thing na nagustuhan ko was this book which talks about finding meaning in a world obsessed with happiness, where she defined happiness as the absence of pain. Kaya yung mga tao, gusto lang nila palagi, happy-happy lang tayo. Kasi ayaw nilang mahirapan, ayaw nilang maramdaman yung sakit. But in real life, life is not like that. Okay, so, and then of course, positive psychology, which was introduced by Seligman, he was talking about happiness, guys, in three elements: positive emotions, engagement, and meaning. Which eventually, na-realize niya yung happiness or authentic happiness can be further expounded into, which led to, of course, well-being theory, which is a very good thing that we're going to discuss about. It's a foundation of happiness. So sabi niya, well-being theory, sabi niya merong PERMA, positive emotions, relationship, positive relationship, and then meaning, and then, of course, yung sinasabi niyang achievement. Kasi yung isang tao, magiging happy siya pagka may achievement and accomplishment siya sa buhay. A workplace that's conducive for work, meron siyang tatlong elemento: the physical environment, the psychological environment, and the psychosocial environment. When we talk of physical environment, yung lighting, yung space na pinagtatrabahuhan mo, yung pantry, yung toilet, all these things, lahat ng to is part of physical environment. Kung flickering ang ilaw mo, hindi ka makakapagtrabaho na maayos.
For sure.
So that's it, diba? Kung mainit yung workplace mo, hindi ka rin makakapagtrabaho na maayos. It affects your productivity. So that's physical environment. The second one is psychological environment. It's what you feel inside. Bawat isa may nararamdaman. Who would have thought na yung kasamahan mo pala nakapag-break sa boyfriend or girlfriend, na naghiwalay pala sila mag-asawa, na wala pala siyang motivation na pumasok sa office, na hindi pala siya masaya, na marami pala siyang dinadalang problema. So that's part of it, the psychological environment. And then the next one is psychosocial environment. How do you deal and what's your relationship with your colleagues, with your boss, yung mga kasamahan mo sa trabaho? These are the three elements that we have to consider when we talk of workplace environment. Sige, if I were to ask you, ano ba yung mga bagay na para sa'yo would make you feel happy at work?
Ako personally, I really find it encouraging and amusing at work when I come to the workplace firsthand talaga. Currently there are tons of setups na nagdipa na because of what we're experiencing right now, the pandemic and all that. There's the hybrid, there's the work from home setup. But me, I find it really amusing to wake up every day, prepare, be in the moment, dress up, go to the office, diba? Socialize, work, diba? Have a lunch, work again, interact some more, and then go home tired, diba? And you feeling very productive throughout the day.
Number one, engagement and teamwork.
Okay.
So, masaya ka ba pagka yung maganda yung pakikisama mo sa mga kasamahan mo, maganda yung relationship sa loob ng team ninyo?
Yes, sir. 100%.
So that's it. Engagement and teamwork is one foundation of a happy workplace. That's the first one. Having a good boss, having a good leader. What does it mean? A leader who can inspire you, a leader who can influence you, a leader who can motivate you, a leader who can coach you, a leader who can teach you, guide you, grow and develop as a person. So that's the second factor para sa akin bakit pumapasok yung mga tao at masaya sila sa trabaho. And apart from that, di ba, yun kapag gano'n, na masaya ka sa mga katrabaho mo, masaya ka na kasama mo yung boss mo kasi very positive, very inspiring. Siyempre, what comes after is Yung third factor, yung psychological safety. Hindi ka natatakot na maging just be yourself. Hindi ka natatakot na minsan ipakita mo na nagagalit ka rin, na minsan ipakita mo na nasaktan ka rin, minsan ipakita mo na hindi mo alam, aminin mo lang na hindi mo alam. Kasi pagka ganun naman din, when you are being so authentic and real at work and with the people in the workplace, mga kasamahan mo, then I think you will be happy. The good thing about what makes us very excited to come to work, probably na yung ika-apat na gusto kong sabihin, yung meaning and purpose.
I see.
Feeling ko, that would lead to your understanding na, kaya pala hindi lang ako pumapasok dahil sa pera. Money is secondary. Pumapasok pala ako kasi there is meaning and purpose in what I'm doing. Yung being part of something bigger, being part of something outside of the self, that there is achievement, but there is also contribution. It gives you meaning and purpose.
So sir, parang may idea na nag-click sa akin just now. What's your advice to people or employees na under and overemployed? Kasi syempre to some extent, if you're underemployed, syempre expectations mo, a bigger role in the company, more tasks, siguro, and objectives na mas nagli-lean towards your expertise. And if you're overemployed naman, you find yourself lost in a place na parang, I didn't sign up for this. So what's your advice to those people?
Ano ba? To those people, to those leaders, o yung mga tao na overemployed, underemployed?
Maybe, let's start first to the employees na over and
Sa
underemployed.
employees. Yeah. I think sa mga employees na overemployed, yung being given so much task at work, tapos na parang he or she is spreading himself too or herself too thinly. So, I think what you have to do is to really communicate the situation with your supervisor, with your manager, with your leader. You can always tell them na, I think I'm being spread too thinly, na hindi ko na alam. Na it happened to me before na parang may mga ganong instances na yun sa mga trainings, tinanong na ganyan. So, I think as a leader, dapat you are cognizant, you are sensitive, you are responsive to the needs of your members. So, I think alam mo na siguro, nag-uumapaw ang trabaho nila. Pero sometimes kasi hero is a manifestation of trust din. Kaya ako binibigay sa iyo to kasi delegation and empowerment. Susunod gusto ko kasi na maging leader ka rin. Na ikaw yung susunod. Na you know how to handle pressure, you know how to solve problems, so know how to make decisions. That's just okay. Pero when everything is imbalance na, nagkakaroon ng imbalance, you have to find a way to address the situation. So kapag ka ikaw as an employee, hindi mo na kaya, and it's affecting you physically, emotionally, psychologically, it's causing you so much stress, then there's no other way to solve it than to talk to your boss, your leader, to your manager, na ganito yung sitwasyon mo. Okay, likewise, ganun din sa underemployed. If you want to have more tasks, if you have other skills na hindi nagagamit pero feeling mo kailangan, just have to be vocal about it. Sabihin mo na kaya ko itong gawin pero hindi na pinagagawa sa akin, just give me the chance. Why not? I can do it. So this is related to meaning and purpose then.
Yes, sir. So it's really about communication.
Yeah,
At the end of
it
the day,
really
okay.
is. Pero yung pinaka-importante rin, ngayong panahon na to, na palagi nating sinasabi na yung pinaka-panlima na gusto kong i-discuss, sabihin, nai-stress na ako, naiinis na ako, ganito, ganun. Yung work-life balance. And I think
especially now.
Yeah, especially now. That's the yung gusto kong yung ikapang-limang dahilan kung bakit masaya tayo sa trabaho. Work-life balance. Bigla ko naalala, there's this article from McKinsey that I just read last week about the report on Generation Z. Ang Generation Z daw, yung mas stress, mas nakaka-experience ng anxiety, hindi lang sa personal life, even at work. So, why? Kasi there are a lot of factors na hindi ka naman po pwedeng isa-isahin lang. Na-struck lang ako ng article na yon. That's why as leaders, as managers, as bosses, we have to be very careful, we have to be responsive, we have to empathize, we have to feel for the kind of employees that we have. Kung bata sila, they don't want to be told na, ano ba yung generation ninyo? Bakit wala? Parang ang ano ninyo, you're so entitled in everything, like this, like that. So I think hindi ganon. So it calls for leaders in the academe, in the industry, in the corporate world, to be more sensitive and responsive to the situations, to the needs of the generation of workforce. Lalo na ngayon, yung tinatawag nating mga Generation C, Millennials, of course, Gen X, mga tipong ganon.
Considering those generations, I mean us, the millennials, and then the next generation to us, the Gen Z, how do you address their behavior? Kasi may common denominator kami, which is just like what you said, ayaw namin masyadong, hopefully I'm speaking in behalf of everyone, na ayaw namin masyadong nasi-stress nga, because it causes anxiety. Kasi the way I see it, the stress is caused by the generation before us that expects too much from us in a way na parang, kasi they say na parang, oh, you already have all the resources. Back in our day, wala ganito, walang internet, all that. So they expect us to double, triple, quadruple, quintuple yung productivity nila from before with the resources we have now. But the thing is, information is so saturated nowadays that if you want a authentic, an original, a real, an original, authentic idea from me as a millennial or the younger generation to me, the Gen Zs, there's really no original idea anymore. It's just a how do you say this? A remix. Kung music yung pinag-usapan natin of an idea that's already thought of before.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you parang address that
I
issue?
think parang simple lang yung sa akin, na parang palagi natin narinig dati, no, yung generation gap. Pero ako kasi, I don't want to use generation gap, but instead I use generation cohorts. Na yung generation namin, we share the same ideas, political views, experiences. Yung generation ninyo, you share the same political views, ideas, experiences. Yung generation din nila ganon. And so I think as leaders, you shouldn't be comparing your generation with the generation of the Gen Z, for example, with the generation of the millennials, with the generation of the Gen X. So I think it's really about being so cognizant of their context, of their generation, of their situation. And as a leader, sabi ko nga palaging number one, understand your context. Stop, look, and listen. You have to be prudent. You have to weigh both sides before making a decision. And then you have to decide, you have to make actions. So I think ganun lang. As a leader, I think makikita mo na you have the making of a good leader, of a great leader, when you see your people growing and developing as a leader as well. Kasi yung isang book na multiplier, sinasabi niya may mga leaders na multiplier. That person, those leaders would like to see their teams, their members to grow and become leaders as well. And meron naman mga diminishers na hindi nag-grow yung mga tao pagka sila yung leader kasi ayaw nilang bigyan ng opportunities. And I think the challenge for them, for us today as a whole, is that in leadership, we shouldn't be creating more members, good followers, but we have to create more leaders, especially in the context of the VUCA world. Volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, and disruptive. I think we have to equip even the younger generations if you want them to acquire leadership skills and competencies. So don't compare yourself with them because there are no point of comparisons. You come from a different cohort. This generation comes from a different cohort. So it's about understanding and finding an equilibrium or a balance between their generation and your generation. So together, you can grow as a leader and these members to become a better person, a better version of themselves, a better leader as well in the future.
eto sir, medyo magiging parang, how do you call this?
Subjective?
Subjective. No,
Sure.
not subjective, but like, basta,
Mm.
would you consider a job that pays and, has all the necessary, what do you call that?
Perks.
Perks. Okay. Or would you rather consider a job which is your passion, that motivates you to go to work, just like what we all discussed today, but yun nga, parang doesn't pay as much as the other job, as the other choice, but it fulfills you
Okay.
emotionally, psychologically. Okay.
Sige,
Ano,
that's a
bigyan tayo ng
very
question.
good question. It's a very good question to end this session. So, ako, ang pwede kong sabihin here is that it's a process. We have to trust the process. When I was younger, basta kumita, okay. Why? Kasi meron akong pamilyang sinusuportahan. As long as masaya ako sa trabaho, kumikita ako ng mas mataas sa dapat kong kitain, so okay ako doon. Kasi kailangan ko ng pera para sumuporta sa family. So it's like that. Pero, and I think yung mga younger generations, ganun din ang tingin nila sa sitwasyon. Probably ikaw din, what's your greatest motivation? To help your family,
Yes.
to provide for your parents, to give them a better life. So at your stage, ganon. Pero ako, when I was working, I think after, let's say 15 years, after 10 years, I left the academe. Why? Because there's that missing puzzle, missing piece of my life. And there's that small voice from within na sinasabing, I need to find for the missing piece of my life. And so one time, nagkaroon ako ng magandang trabaho, maayos, mataas yung sahod and everything. Pero one time, nagising na lang ako na, it's not just about money. It's also about finding happiness, finding meaning and purpose. And so at that time, doon ko na realize na I am ready to make a decision, and this time I'm going to follow my purpose, find my meaning, find my purpose. This is not about money anymore. This is really about, it's not just about achievements. My focus is more on contribution to others, to society, and at the end of the day, it is something that gives me peace of mind, sense of achievement, sense of contribution, sense of meaning. And to end this, in relation to work-life balance, in relation to why are you happy at work, I think remember this: being well off and having a good well-being are two different things. So with that,
Okay, I'd like to thank everyone
yeah.
that joined us today again. Sir Norby, I'm Hiro, and we're the Noblemans. Thank you for joining us today.